I'm pretty new to the Atelier games myself, but their charm and cute storyline that doesn't necessarily involve the end times or the end of the world, it's already won me over. One question that I always see pop up on the Facebook groups I'm in and Reddit is this game a good entrance to the series? With this video, I aim to answer that question and more. Now, I'm going to assume a basic level of familiarity with JRPGs going forward. If you're a total newbie though, please comment with any questions. I love talking shop with fresh meat. The Atelier Series is actually an amazing collection of games to dip your proverbial toes into the genre. One thing to know is, the Atelier Series, it's a lot like Final Fantasy in that there's numerous self-contained series or stories, like the Mysterious Trilogy here, that act as sort of independent stories within the grand universe. And as such, starting with Ryza would be just as easy as starting with Sophie here when it comes to story. I'm pretty new, as I mentioned earlier, but I put maybe an hour into Ryza before the Mysterious Trilogy was released here, and I wanted to outline a few things with Atelier Sophie that I think makes it an amazing starting point. This may sound dumb, but you get into the action pretty quickly for an Atelier game, and certainly for a JRPG. I'm more than willing to watch a lengthy movie before ever getting to pick up a controller, but especially for newcomers to JRPGs as a whole, I'm calling this a positive, as it's nice to learn by doing, so to speak. My first session with Sophie was only 71 minutes long, but I was already doing requests, think of side quests for villagers, gathering materials with my party, and advancing what I assume at least is the main plot, which, don't worry, no spoilers here. Plus, I'd leveled my alchemy many times. I was making items that were both useful in battle and could be sold or turned in for requests. Speaking of alchemy, I love the sort of Tetris-like system in Sophie, balancing what effects you can get with how to best boost the item with the various shaped ingredients felt complex enough that I felt accomplished whenever everything fit together nicely. But it wasn't so convoluted that I went running to YouTube to get a better understanding. Now, you should pay attention, as alchemy is important, but I think that the in-game tutorial, it's more than enough to get you started. Next is the combat. Oh my god, the combat. Now, I'm old-fashioned. I love turn-based combat. I think it adds to the relaxing vibe that these games have, because it makes combat less frantic. Here's the thing, I actually like Ryza's active turn battle system, or whatever it's called, but as a newbie I found that when I would get a little bit flustered, that frustration, it would just snowball into a huge logjam of hesitation as I miss this turn and then I miss another turn, trying to remember what my healing items were called and what, all this massive pile of alchemy I had just sitting in my bags. Now, is that a realistic representation of combat? Maybe. But I think Sophie is more beginner-friendly, but still allows for good strategy because it has a stance system as well as supporting attacks. So as far as I'm concerned, that's another tally mark for the Mysterious Trilogy as a starting point. Now here's something I probably should have brought up sooner, but I'm a bit of an achievement hunter. I mention this now as I'm told that the older games, like the PSP games, they had a time system that means you needed a pretty streamlined guide to get all the achievements / trophies in one playthrough. Here is where Sophie, yet again, seems to me to strike an amazing balance. It almost acts as a bridge between the older titles and the newer ones like Ryza. Time does pass, and there are certain things that can only be done on the right day, most often the weekends, but you won't, from my understanding, be locked out of anything just for putzing around. Now, there are 2 missable achievements, but this isn't a trophy guide video. I'll leave that in the hands of the masters like Power Picks. I just wanted to mention the flow of time giving the world a sense of realism and making Sophie's hometown feel alive and lived in without making you feel like a university student who took maybe a few too many credits this semester. I personally look forward to spending a ton of time in the world of the Mysterious Trilogy, and I hope you'll join me. But until next time, I've been Septimus with the Grim Alliance here, and you have all been an amazing audience. I thank you.